Hi, this is Simon Chan, and welcome to my network marketing training. Members of my coaching mastermind groups can ask me questions on a weekly basis, and today's question comes from PK out in Singapore. And PK says, I'm actually not going to read the whole thing, I'll post it up there. But he says, thank you for making the effort to answer all my questions every week. Your sharing has been tremendously helpful to both me and Cheryl, and we've both learned a lot with these 2 months in the 5-star mastermind program. I really appreciate that the stuff you share is not fluff, but practical advice and valuable experience that you learn from your business, and that you don't just give answers. The replies you share show that you care, and they're not just textbook replies you can grab off a book or training tape. I remember you mentioned that success is all about habit. Forming the right habits and applying consistent daily action will help one achieve success. I'll remember to try out the 50-minute timer you shared. What I want to ask is, can you share your daily and weekly schedule with us and how you achieve a good balance between business and personal life? Because I see you have to dedicate so much time and attention to the groups you coach, yet still conduct your global business and also have time for family, which is really amazing to me. Okay, good question, and it's a great question because the ones who know me the best always ask me these tough questions. So I wrote a couple things down, and you're absolutely right. It's about balance. And one of the things that really helped me grow in the last year and a half is taking time management to the next level. I think it was a natural thing that happened because I had my son, and that made me realize that, hey, I want to spend time with him. And one of the things I learned early on, fortunately, was that you never forget the reason why you joined the business. And I'm going to give you no hype and no BS here, right? Network marketing. When you grow the business, it's like there's always money to be made. And you can never make all the money in the world, right? There's always more stars, more rank advancements. It goes on and on and on. So it depends on what your definition of success is. You could always be the number, if you're number 20 in community, you could be number 19. You could number 19, you could be number 15. Number 50 could be number 10. Number 10, you could be number 5, you could be number 1. If you're number 1, you can make more. You can even make more. It never ends, right? So, and I've seen leaders who have sacrificed their personal lives and forgotten the reason why they did the business. So that's probably not the answer that most people leaders will tell you, but you really have to find a balance, and you may not have it. We can have it all, but is having it all really something that will make you happy? Because more money, more rank doesn't necessarily make you happy, right? Like for you, PK, you love basketball. So if you just gave up all basketball, don't do anything, would that make you a happy person? Now, short term, you may have to do that, but once you achieve a certain level of success, you have to realize you only live once, so you have to find a balance, right? And also, a lot of times the things you do for basketball may actually help your business. Not just like in terms of networking, but it makes you happier. And happier, you have more energy, you're more productive, it'll make you better in the business. So the reason I'm sharing about that is, life is about balance. It doesn't matter what religion you read about, it's about balance. And success is, you can be everything successful in network marketing, but, if you're a bad family person, to me, you're not successful, you're a failure, right? To some people, that's maybe successful, but to me, that's not success. You have to be successful both at home and both in the business as well. So you have to define what is success for you, what will make you happy, and it will have to be a balance. Now, in the short term, you may have to. There may be no balance, right? You have to, because you can't really have a balance and have both worlds. You really, and the reality is you can't have both at the beginning. You really have to sacrifice the basketball, sacrifice what you do to go out and make it. And once you make a certain level, then you realize why did you start the business? Or maybe later on you don't even like basketball, but you have other passions. Then you got to find a balance to do that. But it's all about success. It's about, in terms of habit, is finding the balance. Now, for me, their balance is certain things you don't compromise. And that's what the timer was. It's like, I want to do as much things in the little, get as much stuff done in as much time as possible, right? Because the things I want to do. And the things you don't compromise. You don't, so for me, you know, for me, putting my, reading to my son before he goes to sleep, that's something I don't compromise. Now, if I go on a business trip, that's something else. But if I'm in LA, I don't compromise. I want to get home, be there for him to read. Now, if there's meetings out there or there's a special event function, I may miss it once in a while. But if I'm home, if I'm in the local area and I got meetings, I got a webinar, I won't schedule the webinar there. I won't schedule the coaching. I won't take any phone calls. And that's one of the things, the habits I had was like, I don't take phone calls. Now, at your level, I probably have to take the phone calls. But once I get a certain level, I don't take any phone calls, right? And that allowed me to really streamline a lot of things. It also helped me develop my leaders. So I still work with my leaders, but we set specific times to talk. Okay. So the things that don't compromise, like, reading to my son, before he goes to sleep. During dinner time, I don't take any phone calls. I don't care what happens. I don't take phone calls. Right? That's dinner time. Because it's also the precedent as a parent. If I'm taking phone calls, sooner one of these days, my son's going to be taking phone calls. And what type of the dinner time is a sacred time. I see it's a sacred time where we share it, right? So you set certain boundaries and limits. Another thing is I don't compromise. I love working out. It's one of those. I'm like those workout fanatics where if I don't work out, I'm not happy that day. I have to work out. Now, you may say if I spend an hour and a half, 2 hours a day exercising, right? That's a waste of time. I could be building my business. That's true. But again, the balances. And I actually justify in some ways that it's something that makes me happy. But I also justify that I actually more productive. So on days where I don't exercise, mentally I'm like messed up or like and physical, mentally I'm messed up because it doesn't make me happy, right? I can't think. But also sometimes you're working so much, you have to clear your mind. You got to go out there, do something different. And when you come back, you're more refreshed, right? So I come back more refreshed and physically, right? It's like your heart beats, you get more blood to your brain. I'm wide awake. So I do like a lot of my most creative thinking. Like when I'm jogging, riding my bike, I'm thinking about what to do for trainings, how to help people, marketing ideas, growing my business. That's when I get all these things out. So those are two things I don't compromise. And now, to do everything, you set up blocks of time. Blocks of time, this is when I'm building my business, my global business, network marketing, finding prospects, doing three-way calls, doing presentations, that's the time. These are the times I do my coaching, right? These are the times where I'm creating things to help others, right? Products. Now, the coaching actually doesn't take that much time. Now, in the beginning, you're talking about when I first started network marketing, it would take forever. It would take me a month to put together like one of these calls I'm doing. But it's just like anything else. You ride a bike, you play basketball, you get good at it. I've done this so much, I can put it together in 1 hour. Now, during the time, but the thing is, when I'm working out, I'm thinking about it. But actually putting slides and what to say takes me 30 minutes, 1 hour. Sometimes I just wake up from a nap, I'm ready to go. So that actually doesn't take that much time, but it's like all the time, right? As we talk about all the time. Even though you're part-time, you're thinking about the business. So when I'm working out, when I'm jogging, I'm always a vision. I'm thinking about different things. I actually do that when I'm working out, biking, because sometimes you're biking for work. You run for an hour. It gets monotonous, right? It gets boring. So I've trained my mind to, if I'm listening to audios, or I'm walking my dog, or I'm listening to audios, I'm running, listening to audio, or like sometimes I just stop the audios, I'm start thinking about what I'm gonna do. And that's one of the ways I plan. This is one of the habits I have. When I'm running, walking, driving, I'm using listening to audios, or I'm talking. Actually, when I'm working out, I can't be talking on the phone, right? But like when I'm walking my dog, I'm driving, I'm either listening to audios, I'm thinking about things, strategies, marketing, what I need to do, what I'm be coaching on, how I'm going to talk to my next prospects, or I'm talking on the phone to my downlines, right? Now, when I'm working out, it's basically the same thing. I always condition myself that way. And it's also motivated. It works for me. I'm working out. That's what motivates me. Now, so you set up blocks of time for phone hours, blocks of time for coaching hours. And what I'm looking down is I'm actually reading, because your question was not an easy one. I had to think about how do I do it all. And the reality is I don't get everything done. There are things that don't get done. And I'm learning. I make mistakes just as everyone else makes mistakes. And the mistakes I make are probably different, but I'm still, we're always growing, right? I make probably more mistakes. The only thing is the mistakes are bigger mistakes, because you play, you know, when you get to the higher level, you're playing a bigger game, so the mistakes are bigger consequences. But you learn when the rewards are also much bigger, and that's what makes it challenging, because the business always changes, right? It always changes. Like when you're at your level to get to a silver director, once you're silver, total different challenges, different things, right? Then the basic fundamentals are the same, but the specific problems will be different. When you get to a gold level, different. When you get to diamond, it's always constantly changing. To maximize energy, that's like the one thing that's really important. Time and maximizing your energy, like doing things that I'm high at level. That right now, like, you know, after exercise, I'm a high level, so I can do a lot of things. You tell me to do in the middle of the day after working 3-4 hours, I can't do any creative thinking. I can't get myself to answer these questions and do these videos for you, right? So you're maximizing your energy. The last thing is, here's the truth, is defining the balance. I spent the last year growing a lot in the business and for my network marketing business, and now people get burned out. I've learned once you get a certain level, you have hot months and slower months, and right now it's a slower time for me. I just do work on other projects, like some of my coaching projects, more of a management phase. Now, don't get into the management phase until you hit your passive income goal. So for me, I've hit a passive income goal right now. I'm happy. I grew a lot this past year, and now I'm more like on a, not aggressively sponsoring as I was like, 6 months ago, a year ago. But I plan to get back into it in 3 months, right? It's kind of a little break and then go hard again. Because the reality is everyone gets burned out. That's why you can't be working 7 days a week. You may be thinking the business 7 days a week, but you actually prospecting. You need a break, and spending a day. Just pick a specific day. You have the week you spend time with your family, specific hours, right? Specific time you do your basketball, you do your workout, and that is really the truth. And I'll be honest to admit that I'm in more of a management phase right now until probably in another month or two after the holidays, and we're going all out and hard again. So, and that makes it a little bit easier. So you can focus on different things, but still I'm growing my business. We meet my team. Like, for example, we do Hong Kong trainings and webinars. And technology has made it easier. The technology has made it easier. We do meetings in LA, different meetings out there, events. We still do them. But you like I said, blocks of time. And you realize, like, for example, on Fridays is the big network marketing day. It's closing day. We have to work. I don't go out there and do new meetings. It's normally to close, or to help my leaders do 3-ways. And I'm not doing any coaching that day. I'm making myself available, right? Once it's Saturday, it's like a celebration. The week is over. We maximize our checks. That's when I do some coaching. I write my blogs, right? So you find out the schedule that works best for you. And you're just getting started, PK. The more you do it, you find out the routine that works best. And basketball players, they all have their routines. They have the pre-game routines, post-game routines. They have their game off-day routines, what they do. They have their off-season routines. Every player's a little different. They find out what works best, but they all know what it takes to work at maximum efficiency. All right, it wasn't not an easy question, but if you want to ask me about habits, it's just like finding what success is. You find that, and never forget that. Never forget why you joined the business, and find that balance. Now, again, don't get me wrong. The short term, you have to probably sacrifice a lot of things. But once you get a certain level, and you say, hey, gold director. Once I get to gold, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Hey, then when you go to gold, revisit yourself why you joined the business. So whatever that goes, maybe you have to be hit to diamond to be like that. And for me, it's like, I always want to start work. I always want to be working. If I just did all family time, 24 hours a day, it would bore me, right? I wouldn't be happy. You have to find a balance. But if I did all business, it wouldn't be happy. It's all about the balance. I think in life, that's what real success is. Being able to do everything in the right balance and juggling all the things at once. And it's not easy, but network marketing, especially doing part-time, full-time, teaches about time, not just the sales, business skills, prospecting, leadership skills, but the time management, and it comes down to what it is. All it is being successful in life management. All right, PK, hope this helps. Thank you everyone for watching. This is Simon Chan. See you guys next time. Take care.